Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with After the Empire, a game that just recently came out a few weeks ago now, and I've been sitting on for a little while for no particular reason. So yeah, here we are today with After the Empire. This is a really cool game. I'm going to go off and say I made sure to actually play through an entire playthrough before I decided to come on here to actually play the game today. So starting out, you essentially have to pick what country, essentially, who you want to play as. There's different starting strengths for each civilization, essentially. And just the first look we can see here is there's a frick ton of territories to choose from. So much so that I'm only running this game at like 30 FPS, and there's a lot going on. And as you get more towards the center, it starts to get even more bright and whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the outside. So Borrowed Heart seems like a pretty good place to start. Probably not, but why not? I don't really see anything else that really strikes me fancy. Maybe the Ruby Expanse. That's already a good one to start out with. So let's start out with the Ruby Expanse. They're a little bit stronger than their neighbors, so it won't be as difficult for us to get started. Plus, they have more income. They literally have twice as many income. So it's going to be kind of hard to explain how this game works. So we're just going to take little baby steps as we go along, starting with establishing our civilization. So there's different objectives for each one of the old mine natures that you choose from. Essentially, the old mine militant desires foundries and assemblages and manufactories, and pretty much is more of kind of a war play style. And then the cryptic is a little bit more, you use the basically spies, you subterfuge, that's the word I'm looking for, to overcome your opponents. Glorious is kind of more of the religious. Basically, the whole premise of this game is that humans have ascended to the next dimension and are no longer in the Milky Way galaxy anymore. So essentially, machines now live there, sentient machines that have inherited the galaxy and are trying to pretty much exert your influence over them, however you do so, whether it be through war or whatnot ever. So again, we've got the glorious, we've got industrial, we've got mercantile, and pilgrim. We're probably gonna go with industrial. Industrial seems like a good start. We can pick the religion of our people. Religious people hate databanks, pilgrimages, balanced buildings. So that kind of sucks. I don't know if we want to really do that. But then again, maybe. Sure. Let's actually go with that. Let's go with categorians. Now, there's the descriptors for each one of the different religions and cultures and so on that you choose from. And that kind of role plays into how you act, essentially. So you can go into more depth with it, but I'm not going to for the sake of this video. Again, there's a lot to cover, and I don't want to spend my whole time just trying to design a faction to play as. So what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to pick more war stuff. So the Righteous Call, that's fine. We'll be the Righteous Call. And our advantages are we are majestic, we are apparently hateful, we are faithful, hedonistic, wasteful, slothful, fragile, and placid. Yes. So I think we're going to get rid of placid and go for more egalitarian. I like that a little bit better. Instead of fragile, we'll go for absolutist. And instead of slothful, we'll go for content. And instead of wasteful, we will go... Actually, we'll keep... Well, yeah, we'll keep wasteful. And then the rest of these we'll swap over. Hateful's good to be more aggressive. Majestic, I kind of like... I like militarized better. I feel like it's a better choice for our faction. Yeah, so we'll do that. And do we want to be serene or hedonistic? I think we'll be hedonistic. We'll keep that one. But we'll also be industrious because I'm a little bit more of an industrious player, and we'll be vain. We'll get rid of that. So that's kind of, we swapped our stuff around there, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting out, there's a whole lot of little screens here. Each one of these are different buildings that do different things. You can prioritize which buildings get built, and essentially all buildings are going to be built over time if you leave it at 1. And they're just going to continually build each building equally throughout time as time goes on. Or you can put a priority. So for example, I kind of want my stuff to build up faster. So I can be like, well, let's build, let's see, what do I want to build? Production, guild halls. I don't know. We'll build some more craft halls, some ateliers. I can't even pronounce that. And some chapter houses. That'll be fine, I think, for now. All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and increase build halls, and then we're gonna press play. So research also happens automatically, essentially in the background. As you can see here, you choose which one you want to go for, and you get 1 contemplation per turn. So depending on which path you choose, whether it's the path of lights, path of oceans, or path of night, you get passive bonuses that affect your empire. Research is pretty simplistic in a sense, so truly it's kind of more of like which passive you're going to want the most. I kind of like path of oceans right now. Military ambitions, max civilizations, progress, and income are pretty good here in the beginning. And we want to stay ahead of our opponents. Who, oh god, are we already at war with people? No, that's our neighbors. Let's slow it down just a little bit to see what's going on, because our neighbors are already starting to be incredibly aggressive. So to declare war on another faction, in this case, you just, right here where there's the fleet stance, you just right click on it. So we just declared war on the thrice great civilization and are going straight for Hanth. Oh, that was probably a bad idea, because they're not going down without a fight, that's for sure. There might be someone else instead that might be better for us to attack, but truly, most of these guys around us are a little stacked. Truly, though, going for this guy is probably not going to do us any favors. Damn, they've got 2 as well already. Well, that's not good. Huh. Alright, so we got to stop that. They literally just took over another planet. Alright, let's go for the Motionless Sea. The Motionless Sea doesn't have anything, so we can focus our efforts on taking over the Motionless Sea first. That'll give us 2 territories, and then we can start expanding from there. Good God, these dudes are just moving quickly. They are not wasting any time at all. I figured we would have a little bit more time to actually do something, but nope. They're getting right into it. So with that said, we're going to decrease the production of the chapter houses, and instead we're going to increase the production of our fleet yards and our which one's the one that builds the fighters down here? It's about, yeah, manufactories and assemblages and foundries. Yeah, that's basically what we want to increase, because we're more concerned with military at this point in time. We don't want to get overcome by our neighbors, so we need to keep that in mind. Being each planet, essentially, you can actually have defensive strongholds, which again, you right click to activate. It gives you kind of a defensive bonus, increases your military spending, as it were, to keep you alive against any aggressive nearby neighbors. If we're looking at our opponents right now, like counterclockwise is definitely the scariest of them, being absolutely gigantic and having a pretty large like civilizations being kind of it shows you essentially what the power is, the population of that area. And like we're going straight in for the Motionless Sea. So basically the way combat works is when it gets to 100, the number of civilizations in that system start counting down, and when it gets to 0, you take over that territory. As we just got screwed out of the territory by this guy, but I'm not going down. I'm not giving that up without a fight, because that was my planet, you dirty slut. So we're basically going to start pushing for it, but we're going to speed the game back up a little bit instead of keeping it paused. All right. Yeah, see, there we go. Now you see our little ships like flying towards it and slowly attacking the enemy. But until we get to 100%, it doesn't matter too much. I'm just kind of hoping we actually do it faster rather than later. I'm probably going to lose this game already. This is kind of a bad start, and I'm terrible. I haven't played this game in about a week. That's why I'm kind of stuttering and all over the place, because it has been a little while since I played this game. But, again, it's a really cool game. seems like it's very in-depth, which there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, that's for sure. But surprisingly enough, the game itself is pretty simple in how it's played. Interactions are very limited. Again, you just mainly focus on building buildings and conquering territory nearby star systems. Overall, the game itself is pretty simple in how it functions. And here we go. We're actually taking over the motionless sea. We're not going to be held back. We're going to take what was rightfully ours. What the hell? What is that? No, F you. F you. Like, every time we come in to take a planet, someone screws us. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. I want the motionless sea, damn it. That's mine. My own. My precious. So what we're actually doing now is we're actually attacking both neighboring systems here, the Motionless Sea and the Borrowed Heart. And thankfully, our massive fleet is kind of overwhelming our opponents. But again, our numbers going up as well. That means that somebody has it out for us. So we need to keep our eyes open so that we don't get overrun. So we're actually going to start building some more manufactories as well to increase the amount of defensive fortifications that we have to protect us against our opponents, because we sure as shit don't want them creeping on in here and taking us over while we're trying to take over other planets. And see, our numbers are slowly getting up there. We can actually increase it a bit more. It goes up to a maximum of ×2 speed, so that's a pretty good speed, I think. And now that we've got 8 manufactories, I'll slow that down a bit to put the heavier focus back on this stuff here, on the foundries and the assemblages. And we've almost got the Borrowed Heart down. So close. So close. That's directly where we're attacking. So we put our military ambition on Borrowed Heart because it's already so low. Oh, they're trying to put up a fight. They're trying to defend. As we see our percentages slowly kind of tinker down, but then go back up, and then tink down again. They're trying really hard to keep it, but oh, damn it. There we go. Now we're getting it. We're bringing down the number of civilizations they have in Borrowed Heart. We really have to take over something quickly, because if we don't, we're going to be swallowed up by our neighbors, who are very quickly outpowering us. Yeah, there we go. So we managed to take it over. We took over Borrowed Heart, thankfully, but now enemy fleets are attacking from other areas. We want to put a focus on the Motionless Sea. Bam, we already took it. And then put a focus on the Eagle's Nest, and we'll literally just take this guy's territory as fast as we can. We're establishing defensive strongholds in each one of these territories because we are surrounded by our opponents. I am going to stop the war there on Triumph because they're not as big of a deal to me. Well, no, oh God, that's all part of it. That's all part of the same empire. I didn't realize that. So no, we are going to keep attacking Triumph, but the emphasis is on the Eagle's Nest. If we take Eagle's Nest, we'll be in a much better situation. So we're going to click on Borrowed Heart. We're going to make sure that we're putting a strong emphasis on producing more foundries and assemblages so that we have more fleets in order to continue our attacks and be incredibly aggressive in how we conquer this territory. Thankfully, we've actually got some territory now, so we're not being completely overrun by our neighbors. If we take a look at the rest of the galaxies, you can kind of see here where everybody is just sending their fleets either which way, conquering more pieces of the galaxy. Hopefully we don't get left behind. That's what I'm hoping for. I think we might actually have to go to war with these guys here soon enough. If we could take over the Eagle's Nest and Triumph, we should be good to go. But again, it's questionable if we're actually going to be able to take it over in the time that we need. That's right. Come on, come on. It's already at 90%, 91, 92. So close, 91. Come on, we're so close. I can literally taste their lands. It's going to be absolutely wonderful when we actually take it over. I probably should have taken Triumph first. That probably would have been easier on our forces instead of diverting them between the two systems there. But I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not the only one who's pushing on Triumph. One of these neighbors here probably are as well. There we go. Now we're starting to bring the... Oh, come on. There we go. Now, every time we start bringing it down, they make a comeback. Come on. We got to outnumber them, man. We got to outnumber them. Well, we're beating Triumph. We're taking... Oh, there we go. We're taking them both now. Both at the same damn time. They're just being conquered. You can literally see our little fleets flying around, slowly pinking away at all their civilizations and their defenses. Soon here enough, they won't have anything to stop us at all anymore. And now we're actually putting the hurt on Echo, so Echo's going to fall here soon as well. Put an emphasis on that and an emphasis on Triumph and Echo. We want to conquer both of those territories. So then we can basically take over Restful, Repose, Placid, and Yansa Skies. That's right. Absolutely wonderful. This is going wonderfully in our favor right now. So we've actually carved ourselves out a nice little piece of the galaxy so far. And we are building up and getting bigger, so we just got to continue doing what we're doing, and basically we'll be on the road for success. So as you can see, this game is very simply played. It's not as complicated as it looks when you're first designing everything. And honestly, you could pretty much, for the most part, playing on a lower difficulty, like which this is on easy, for the sake of demonstration. Basically, you can just see me basically just pushing right into their territories and taking over their planets. And holy crap, that's a really big territory there. I don't want to mess with them. But ultimately, I think After the Empire is a really cool game. It's a very simple game, so like if you're expecting a really hardcore, in-depth 4X space strategy like Endless Space 2 or something like that, and that's not even really all that hardcore. I mean, I guess it's a lot more in-depth than this. A lot of what's going on here in this game is going on under the hood. You don't see the majority of what is occurring in the game. But honestly, the universe that they've created for this game is incredibly interesting in itself. So that's actually probably one of my favorite things about it. It's just the idea that machines became the new humanity and took over the entire galaxy, and they exist amongst each other. But these differing personalities exist that work against each other, essentially. And ultimately, there can be only one civilization that rules the galaxy. So much so that you will literally wipe out all the other enemy civilizations that get in your way. It's pretty hardcore, and ultimately, it's a really cool story for how it plays out. And I think it's a very well done game. And it's only like $10. So ultimately, I highly recommend this game if you are interested in 4X space strategy games. Anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know I've been a little stuttery and whatnot all over the place. I apologize for that. I'm a little excited and just had some soda and whatnot, so it probably doesn't help much. But again, I do highly recommend you take a look at After the Empire. It might be exactly what you're looking for. But anyway, this has been CB, and I'll see you next time.